Grace and peace, everybody. Welcome to Berean TV. Someone else, I don't know, people often, a lot of times I get some of the same questions, some of the same comments. And one thing that's been heavily flooding my message box is the Horus Jesus story and the origins of Christianity in Egypt. I want to explain some things to y'all. First of all, there's no primary source to ever say that Horus had 12 disciples, that Horus raised the dead, that Horus was crucified. We have to understand, anytime you're dealing with these people that follow the Kemetic doctrines, a lot of times people say a lot of things that they hear on the internet and they spread them through Facebook. I like one brother, he said, these guys aren't scholars, they're Googleologists. And I told him I had to use that, and this is what we have here. We have a lot of people claiming scholarship on the internet, but they can't give you a primary source. If you hear that one more time, Christianity came from Egypt and Horus had 12 disciples and he was crucified, you have to ask for a primary or a very early secondary source. A primary source is simply from a source from that specific time, at that time, the contemporary of that time, and we don't have that. And it doesn't have to be a person. It can be an artifact or anything. Another thing that they say, speaking about the crucifixion, y'all have to look at anachronisms. Now, when we say anachronism, we just simply mean something coming from one period that's put into another period, something or someone. I'm going to give you an example of that. And excuse me, I'm over here by the airport, so planes are constantly coming in. But I want to give you an example of that. I can't say George Washington drove an Escalade. Why can't I say that? I can't say that Christopher Columbus had an office in the Empire State Building. These are serious flaws here if I say that, and I say that because I'm attempting to put an Escalade back in the time of George Washington. I'm attempting to put the Empire State Building with Christopher Columbus, and you can't do that. And we're going to discuss this and so many other things in Sunday Seminary. If y'all want to get with me, BereanTeach@gmail.com. This is the last week for registration with the Sunday Seminary. Y'all can get in. Sunday Seminary's on fleek. We're dealing with inspiration of the Bible. Is the Bible tampered with the introduction to the conscious community and a who's who in the conscious community. Before I go, I just want to bring up one last thing. We have Thrive coming up. I'm getting with Bishop Mason, Dr. Eric Mason, and it's very interesting. That Thrive thing is going to be heavy. I believe when we start dealing with what we call the woke church, he's leading this thing out. He's setting something up far as equipping God's people and how to engage in urban context and engage in the community. I think that's very important. Of course, yours truly is going to be there, and we'll be speaking on the conscious community, but so many other breakout sessions, so many other speakers. Y'all check that out. Thrive, Dr. Eric Mason.